Hey everybody, Sharon Smith here. Today I'm going to talk to you about just a really basic way of using EFT tapping to help an animal who is experiencing a physical issue. And I think there are a lot of videos out there and they're making it seem really complicated. And what I've found, because I have used this literally for years and years, for animals as well as humans. But what I found is that it doesn't have to be really difficult or complicated. There are just a couple of things that you need to say repeatedly, no matter what, and that's going to help your animal. So, before we get started with that a little bit, I do want to ask you to please subscribe to me. And if you're enjoying this video, please like it. And the reason I'm asking you to subscribe is because YouTube's algorithm shows my videos to more people based on the number of subscribers that I have. That means that you may be allowing someone to see one of my videos and get some great help from that in that minute because you took a second to subscribe. I think that feels pretty good. So thank you in advance. So when an animal comes to you, and if it's a cat or a dog, horse, whatever, bird, and they've got a physical issue. For instance, one of my outdoor cats recently had a really sore and irritated eye. I don't know what it was from, no clue, maybe a cat fight, who knows, but the eye was pretty much swollen shut. And the tapping that you can do for an animal comes down to two different ways you can do it. You can either physically tap on the animal, and I don't recommend going through a whole bunch of points on a cat or a dog. Just tap. It's really simple with animals. They're wired simply. You can just simply tap the very top of their head. Neither of my indoor cats wanted to volunteer to be on this today, so they're both sitting here, but when I asked if they wanted help, they're like, no thank you. So for my one cat, she really likes this type of tapping. Just very simple. Don't worry about a lot of points. That's not a big thing. It doesn't make a difference. Just tapping the top of her head has worked and been very effective. It's real simple. And she had a very serious autoimmune issue that was causing a lot of problems. And that's all I did was tap just the top of her head. But what I would say is, even though you're having this very serious autoimmune issue, you are the perfect cat. Even though you've got this stuff and it's in your mouth and on your tongue and it's growing, you are the best cat in the world. You are the perfect cat. And then I would say, it's safe for you to let go of this and let this heal. Okay? So you're going to describe the problem, just tapping the top of the pet's head. Describe the problem. Say that they're the best, whatever they are in the world, that they are the perfect cat or dog, and that it's safe for them to allow this to heal. And you don't have to do extensive amounts of this. I would say maybe a minute. Animals are much more straightforward than humans. Now, that's if you're going to tap physically on the animal. And like I said, one of my cats is just fine with it. She likes me to tap on the top of her head. If I move anywhere else, she does not like that. Don't do it. Just tap the top of their head. Most of the animals tolerate that really well. My other cat is an exception. She doesn't want me to tap on her at all. So the second way you can use tapping is to do it as surrogate. And for her, I would simply tap on myself. And I would probably just tap through the points on me and say, even though you have this, whatever it is going on, you are the perfect cat. Even though you've got a sore foot, for instance, you're the perfect cat. You are the very best cat in the world. And I love you. So even though you have this, whatever the issue is, it's safe for you to allow it to heal. Because you are the perfect cat. You are the best cat in the world. Now, those phrases are what you need to say no matter what species you're dealing with. And I found working with horses, now horses do tend to like you to tap on them physically and to move through some of the points. They like the top of the head, they like you tapping around their eyes. I don't necessarily tap around their nose or mouth, but they do kind of like the eye points. Just do what they like best. There isn't a wrong way to do this. Now, this is the second, that's if you're going to tap directly on the animal. For surrogate tapping, which I just talked about, which is the alternate, that's what I would use on an outdoor animal or an animal that does not want you to tap on them physically, or one that you simply cannot tap on. Like one of my outdoor cats, they would never hold still for that sort of thing. So this particular cat had the sore, swollen eye, and all I did was tap on myself and say and I would look at him outside the door. You know, he was right outside. And I would say, I would look at him and hold, as I did it. You could also hold just the image of him in your mind while you're doing it and just identify the issue and say, even though you've got this really sore eye, you are the best cat in the world. You are the perfect cat. It's safe for you to allow your eye to heal and to get well because you are the perfect cat. You are the best cat in the world. And that's going to be how that looks. And usually an issue like that's going to resolve in just a few hours. Sometimes it takes a day. And as far as frequency of tapping, that's kind of up to you. When my cat Rosie had the really serious ongoing autoimmune thing, I usually tapped on her for I would do about 60 seconds 2 or 3 times a day. I would make sure to do it in the morning and then again in the evening. Sometimes I would remember to do it middle of the day and sometimes not. And it took her about 2 weeks of that to fully recover. So it does work. It works really well. Now, when you are tapping on an animal and not tapping on them and you're tapping on yourself, if you're looking at them, you're going to see that they know what you're doing. They get it. Energy work works really well with animals. And so as soon as you start talking about that and tapping, even if their back is to you, you're going to see them turn around. I mean, I watched my gray cat. He immediately started making eye contact and looked a little bit surprised because they get what you're doing. They totally understand it and they like it. I've never had an animal that did not like it. Now, like I said, if they don't want you tapping on them, just simply tap on yourself while you talk to the animal. Don't make them do something they don't want to do. That's not fun, and it's not helpful. So again, very simple. You can either tap on the animal, easy, or you can tap on yourself. Now, I don't think it's necessary to get into any underlying emotional stuff when you're tapping for a physical issue initially. Just don't worry about it. Now, if you're going to tap for behavioral issues, things like that, especially with indoor critters, that's a whole nother video that I'm going to have to do because when there are behavioral issues coming up, that usually has to do with something that you need to work on for you. They're misbehaving to get your attention to do some of your own work. And when you do that, the issue usually resolves. But as I said, that's a whole nother video. So that is all for today. Happy tapping. Use this for your animals. Identify the problem. Tap on it either on yourself or on your animal. And don't worry too much about what you say. As long as you're saying the good stuff and telling them it's safe to let it go, safe to let it heal, you're going to get a good result. So again, I'm Sharon Smith, and I will see you again really soon.